Hey guys, so today I'm actually here to film a different type of video for you guys. I've never filmed a video like this on my channel. So the YouTube sisterhood that I'm a part of, which you guys have seen in different vlogs and stuff, we're going to be doing a series on all of our channels, which I will have their channels linked down below, and it's going to be called Sister Talk. So basically what we're doing is we're picking a topic, and sometimes we're going to collab with each other and like be in the same room, and sometimes it's going to be like this one where it's just like me talking to you guys about a different topic every time. So this topic that I'm personally talking about is going to be toxic friendships / relationships. So we thought that we would just start this series on our channel just to see how you guys liked it. So definitely like this or thumbs this video up if you like it, and then comment down below if you want to see more, and if you have other topics that you want me or one of the other girls to talk about. And like I said, that I will have all their videos linked down below. So luckily in my life, I haven't had too many bad like toxic romantic relationships. So this is more so going to focus on friendships, and I'm more so going to focus on one specific friendship, even though I'm not going to give names and I'm not going to say like specific details, just because I don't know who watches my channel that I know personally, and I don't want them to be like, ooh, like that's what he did, like, you know. So getting into the friendship, I'm not going to say specific details about everything, but the general gist of it is I was friends with this person, probably like really good best friends, probably the end of my 8th grade year all the way to my sophomore year-ish, somewhere in there. And so we were best friends. We used to talk all the time, like almost every day about stuff. That's just how it was. And we were really good friends. I told him everything, which in hindsight I kind of regret. Not because I think that people shouldn't tell people stuff. I think you need to tell people enough in order to have a healthy mental state, if that makes any sense to you guys. But I regret telling one person all of my secrets and like everything, just because I felt like when I should have gotten out of the friendship, it was kind of one of those situations where I didn't want to like fully step out of the friendship because I was scared that maybe the stuff I had told him would get out. And not that I was like telling him stuff that I had done, as in like, oh, I did this, don't tell my parents, not like that, but like it was just the way that emotions, like, you know, emotional stuff that you don't necessarily want getting out to everyone. So like I said, we were friends all the way up to that point. I had known him pretty much my whole life though, just because we're really close family friends. His parents and my parents are close family friends, so I had grown up around him my whole life. And he was older. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but me and him were spending a ton of time together. I was going over his mom's house for dinner pretty much every week. So I would get to see him a lot. Because he was older, he often got stuck driving me home, so I got to see him a lot and talk to him a lot. You know, we were talking a lot via like texting and cell phone calls and stuff like that. So things started to get shaky after probably my sophomore year in high school, and we weren't really that close anymore. Like we didn't hang out, we didn't like, because a mutual person that we know moved in with him, his focus kind of shifted to her and making sure that everything with that situation was okay. And so we never got like one-on-one time to hang out like we used to. So things kind of drifted apart and things started to get said. When I would bring it up, first it started like, oh, I'm so sorry, I've just been really busy, I have a lot going on, I have a lot on my plate, things like that, which, you know, I understand. But then it turned into like, well, being friends with you kind of makes me depressed, and being friends with you isn't that great, and things like that, which really hurt me as a person, because I'm the type of person, if you know me personally, I like people to be happy. Most of the time I will take a step back on my happiness to make sure that other people are happy, which is not necessarily always a good thing. But when people say that I'm disappointing them, or I'm not making them happy, or in this case I'm making you depressed, it hurts me as a person. And it's not just like oh, he doesn't want to be friends with me, like, oh crap. It's like a personal, it's like really personal, which another reason why that hurts so badly is because he was my best friend, he would be the person to know that. Like he knew that saying something like that would affect me harshly, you know. I felt like when he came back to wanting to be friends with me, like, oh my gosh, like my best friend's back, I have to do like anything and everything to keep him here. So, you know, I found myself apologizing for a lot of things. I found myself, you know, like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, you know, he just made me feel bad about things that I shouldn't have had to feel bad about. Having opinions about things or having emotions about things, he would make me feel bad about it. And there was some stuff that went down in his personal life that affected me, like secondhand affected me. And when I would state my opinion and kind of state the fact that, like, hey, yo, you're doing this and it's affecting me secondhand, like, I'm getting backlash from, like, my parents and other people, it kind of turned into, like, a screw you type situation of, like, well, I'm just going to be happy no matter if it affects you or not. And I found myself apologizing for a lot of things, like, oh, I'm sorry, that's the way I feel, or not wanting to voice my opinion in certain things, which turned it to be even more toxic because I was dealing with everything that was happening like via the secondhand like backlash of what he was doing without anybody to be able to talk to about it, without any I was dealing with it without having anybody to talk to about it and without being able to have anybody in my corner. And he just kind of like low-key like kicked me to the side. And so that's kind of when I started to distance myself, and I would mention on occasion like, hey, we never get to hang out, like we never really talk anymore, and things kept being said like that. And it wasn't, I mean, I made a mental decision to just be okay with it my junior year in high school, probably. I just made a mental decision to just go ahead and just be okay with the fact that we weren't really friends and to just move on with my life, kind of. And, or no, it was probably like my junior, senior year. I just made a mental decision. Like, I wasn't really talking to him that much anymore. Things with his personal life were just really different, and they were kind of affecting, like, a ripple effect affecting me. And I just was kind of over it. And it wasn't until like the summer after my senior year when I figured out I was going away for college. I mean, I had already figured it out, but like that part, and it was kind of getting real to everybody that like, oh shoot, I wasn't going to be there in the fall anymore. I was going to be here. That things just, like, the whole script flipped. And this is kind of when it got really toxic for me, because the whole, like, everything I had said, we don't get to hang out anymore, we don't talk anymore, we never see each other anymore, like, we used to be so close, what happened? Pretty much all the things I said all of a sudden were true. And all of a sudden he was texting me like, oh, do you want to go get coffee? I haven't seen you in so long, we don't get to hang out, well, remember the good old days, like nothing had happened. And I'm not the type of person to like hold a grudge on to somebody. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna hold a grudge to you and be like, man, you said this and da 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 da. And for me, I was like, oh good, my like old friend is back. So I kind of let him worm his way back in, as far as being my friend. And I was like, okay, we'll meet up for coffee, we'll do this, we'll do that. I was working at the mall, so it was really close, it was convenient, but it wasn't the same, and I could still feel the distance. And in my head, it still was kind of not haunting me, but I could still feel the like fact, or feel the emotions of how I felt when he said all those things to me. And I felt like I kind of low-key couldn't make him mad. I kind of had to appease him on multiple things just because he knew so much about me, and he knew so much about like my personal emotions and like my my bouts with depression and things like that, to where I felt like if I were to cut him off and just be like, you know what, kind of like, forget you, I don't want to be friends with you anymore, you're doing me wrong type situation, that like, what if he told everybody myself? And I don't know, I just felt like I just couldn't cut things off. That, and then he was a close family friend, so it wasn't like I completely could just stop seeing him. He was around all the dang time. So I went away to college, and I thought like, oh, we're gonna be good friends. And once again, things were said. I tried to keep up with him, but like he never really would text me while I went away to college, which was completely bizarre to me, because I'm the one that like is in a completely new environment with people I do not know. I mean, like, I have my friend like Diana that I had met via the Facebook group prior to like actually coming down here. But as far as people like that I know, like, I didn't really know anybody in Atlanta. I was in a completely new area, completely new school, new girls, like new people, Morehouse right across the street. Like, you know, things were just really, really new. And I had kind of told him that over the summer. I was like, I'm nervous because like I don't really have like, I didn't really have a ton of friends. And it wasn't until after I got to college and things kind of really fell off during college, and I kind of realized even more that like he didn't necessarily care about me, that I kind of gave up on the friendship, and I kind of had a bad taste in my mouth about like really close friends, and I kind of kept everybody at a distance because some things that I had said to him about like, you know, my bout with depression and stuff like that, he had kind of turned back around to me. And you know, like that friend, like when you're arguing, they like bring up your dirtiest secret and like kind of throw it in your face in your argument, that type of a thing. And so it wasn't until I got to college and I met one of my really good friends who goes to Morehouse. He's a guy in college, and it wasn't until like little things would happen with him, like I would have an opinion about something and I just wouldn't say anything about it, or like if he did something and I didn't necessarily like it, I wouldn't say anything, and he'd be like, well, why didn't you tell me? And I was like I'm not that I'm not supposed to, but I'm just like, well, my last best friend got mad at me all the time. And it wasn't until little things like that happened that I realized like you can tell somebody something and not fear that they're gonna throw it back in your face all the time. And it wasn't until then that I realized how screwed up my friendship with the person back home was. And it just wasn't until then. And then it wasn't until that point when I kind of made my new friendship with my current friend that I have now at Morehouse that I completely was able to let go of my friendship back home, and I was completely able to just kind of feel better about the situation. And it wasn't until then that I was able to say like, no, stop texting me, lose my number, don't call me. I'm going to be cordial to you in public, but don't consider us friends type situation. I say all this to say, getting to the point of the story, I say all this to say that friendships are supposed to be a good thing. If your friendship is degrading you, demeaning you, giving you bad advice, like blatantly bad advice, you can get out of it, you know, talk to somebody else, find another good friend. That's what kind of helped me. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have my friend that I had at Morehouse. I don't know, because I really didn't think I was worth a good friendship. And having my friendship the way it was with the guy back home, I didn't think that I was worth the time or that my opinion was worth anything. I say all this to say, like, friendships are supposed to be a good thing. Friendships are supposed to be where you can go and confide into people. And I have always been a quality versus over quantity person when it comes to friendships. I've never had a ton of friends. I've always just had a few like really close ones. And then I know a lot of people, don't get me wrong, but I've never been one to just have like 85,000 friends. But I hope that this is helping somebody to realize that, like, if you do have a friend that's treating you really badly, that you can cut them off. Like, you can cut them off and just say, I'm done, I deserve better than this. And ironically, a lot of the times, especially with like my friend, once I cut him off and was like, I don't want to talk to you anymore, all of a sudden I was this great person, and he was texting me like, oh, you're such a good person, and you're so determined, and you're so like, you're such a great drive, and I miss you having a like being your friend and stuff like that. And it just was crazy to me that you put me through literally hell. All of a sudden, once I cut you off, then all of a sudden I'm a bad person. I'm a great person. So like I said, I hope somebody can benefit from my story personally. I don't know. This is my first sister talk video, so I don't know how well this video is going to turn out. We will see. But let me know if you guys have anything you would like me to talk about in my next video. I definitely will leave an email down below. It might not be up when this video is posted, but I'm going to make an email. You guys can email me different topics, or if you need advice about something, just let me know, and I will see you guys in my next one.